Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we'll talk about all things Disney,
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in news and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when umbrellas were electric.
This is episode 3, The Best Snacks at Epcot.
Or, I haven't eaten since Mexico, I must be starving.
So now, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian Adventure. Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 3 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And today we're talking about the best snacks at Epcot.
Yes.
These snacks may not be ones you've even heard of. These are going to be some current snacks and some snacks that go back all the way to the start. But that's what we do. We're not a podcast that's going to tell you what to go eat right this minute, but what you could have eaten 25, 35,
40 years
ago. Oh, my heavens.
But it's also stuff that you could go get today.
Of course. We still are in the future, because it's Future World. Oh, no. World Dancing?
It will always be Future World.
What is it now? World Showcase? No.
World...
Future it's so
World.
Hard to get used to.
It's Future World.
Yeah, it's Future World. So the snacks we're going to be talking about today are things that we've loved over the years, but that are also, many of them are going to be today. We're going to have some honorable mentions at the end as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in.
So last week we went through our top attractions, and just like that episode, we're going to go through our top 5. We are not telling you what your top 5 should be, but we would love to know what they are.
Exactly. These are ones that hit us in the feels over the last 40 years of Epcot.
So what do we mean as a snack? So we are talking about things that are available year-round, that are not a festival food. There are tons of festivals at Epcot. If you're not familiar... Well, there's actually, I guess there's only 4,
well,
technically.
Well, that's true. 4.5, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 in January into early February is Festival of the Arts, or as we love to refer to it as, Farts.
Which a lot of people refer to it as.
All right, stop laughing. I know you are. We didn't make that up.
We didn't. And then it's followed by the Flower and Garden Festival.
Flower and Garden, which will be out actually in just a couple weeks. And we'll come back with an episode from there, actually, with our friend Catherine, who will be a first-time visitor to the Epcot festivals.
And we'll get to hit it early enough that we will go ahead and do a Best of the Fest with our favorite top picks from that one.
Oh, you betcha. Eating and drinking around the world.
Yay.
Is there anything better?
And then after that one is the Epic Food and Wine Festival.
Which nowadays is broken into 2. That's why I said there's like 4.5 festivals. There's actually a first half that goes from July through mid-August, and then the second half that goes from mid-August through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just about the week of Thanksgiving is Diet Epcot week, which is what they refer to it as when there are no festivals. They call it Diet Epcot.
We were actually there on that day. That was the Thanksgiving day, and it was the day before Festival of the Holidays started this last year.
Which rounds out the festivals.
That's the last one, which is all things Christmas, and all things Hanukkah, and all things Kwanzaa, and all things...
It is really awesome. If you've never experienced that festival, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite because I really do love all of them. But Festival of the Holidays is super special. It's just magical. And that's when you can also see the...
Candlelight processional.
Thank you.
Which is just... It's a takeoff of the version that started at Disneyland years ago. They have people from Disney that volunteer to come in and do the singing and the orchestra.
And they have local choirs who also support them. And it's not just like, hey, I want to show up and do this cool thing. There are auditions. Like, it is quality. And then they have a celebrity narrator. When we saw it a couple years back, we got to see Neil Patrick Harris, and he was legendary.
No, wait. He was legendary. We sat in a cold December rain, which, of course, in Florida is relative. But we sat in a nice cold rain, watched Neil Patrick Harris do the Bible story with the singers behind him. It was just amazing. If you ever get a chance to do that, it's worth going to the festival simply for candlelight.
It is really cool.
The one thing they don't celebrate there, I cannot figure out why, is Festivus.
They don't have the pole.
Yeah, so you can air your grievances
exactly.
and show feats of strength. And weird.
I know. Maybe next year.
It's a holiday. Okay.
So we're not including festival foods. We're not including alcohol drinks. Drinking around the world will be its own separate episode at some point.
I cannot wait.
And then, so the foods that we are talking about today are the ones that are available outside of those things.
Yeah, and generally these are places that are walk up and are not full meals.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's ready to start.
Let's jump in.
Why don't you start, Sue? What's your number 5?
Well, all right. Well, once again, this was really hard for me. Ranking things just does not come easily to me. I just want everything to have its moment. So
I love ranking things.
So my number 5 spot is kind of a wild card. I don't think you're going to see it coming.
Okay.
It is.
I'm intrigued.
I picked the pot stickers from Lotus Blossom Cafe in China.
In China.
And
well, we haven't had those in a while, but man, those are
they're
good.
So good, and they're consistently good. They can actually, if you want to add rice, they'll do that for you too, and you can make it a really nice light lunch. It's so good. They're just perfectly well done every single time. They're shareable because they're just the little pockets of meat and deliciousness.
And here's a good tip. Kids love pot stickers.
Right.
It's a dumpling with meat. I mean, you can't, there's no even 3-year-old that's going to turn that down. They're in the back left corner, kind of left of Circle Vision there at, or the Wonders of China show.
Right.
At the pavilion. And so a lot of people don't know they exist because as you're walking by, you don't really see the walk-up restaurant.
Right, and you automatically look toward the tea cart that's on your right, the Joy of Tea, and you automatically see that and think that's all there is to offer. But there's not. There's actually Lotus Blossom is back a little farther if you go into the pavilion, and the pavilion itself is gorgeous.
Oh, the shop back there is amazing. It's actually the exit store for the Circle Vision Theater that shows Wonders of China.
And little plug for that, too, because that Circle Vision movie is gorgeous. It is beautiful. If you want to know anything about China, it is absolutely beautiful.
Yes, but that's not important right now. That's a little nod to the show if you haven't seen it. Well, that's a good pick.
Yeah, a little different, but I wanted a nice savory option to start us off.
Nice way to start off. Well, I started
and your number
savory
5?
too. Yeah.
All right.
My number 5 is something I haven't actually had in a couple years, but I love getting it when I'm just hungry for something, just carbs.
Intrigued.
The pretzel. The big jumbo pretzel back at Germany. Now, this is not the typical Mickey pretzel that you get like at the walk-up kiosk thing there between Imagination and Land. This is a giant German pretzel.
Yes.
And I wish they had some good stone ground mustard. They don't. They have Goulding's mustard, a brown mustard that goes with it, but lots of mustard, and that pretzel is enough of a sugar carb rush for me. Sorry, that's the wrong word, but the carb rush for me when I need it on that side of
and again, very shareable.
Park. Very shareable, yes.
Yeah, and it's delicious. If you like a good pretzel, it is a great one.
A little shout out to another big jumbo pretzel that is amazing is the one over at Jock Lindsay's at Disney Springs.
Yes.
It is actually a giant pretzel, but it's used as a charcuterie. I mean, you cannot pass that. It
is a meal.
It's a beautiful, hard crust pretzel, soft inside, hard crust outside, like you would see, but with meats and cheeses and mustard and beer cheese, and oh my goodness, one person cannot eat this thing.
No, nor should they attempt to.
Yeah, not inside Epcot, but since we're talking about pretzels, there you go.
And it's a very similar, the actual pretzel is very, very similar.
Yes, it is. It is in taste and in size, actually.
Yeah, and it's delicious. Good choice.
Awesome. All right, well, on to number 4.
All right, well, my number 4 is found in Norway, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but it's at the Kringle Bakery og Cafe.
We'll go with that.
That's close, right? It is not one that you can get today. Sadly, it is one that I got many, many years ago, and they have discontinued. But it is called...
I know which one this is.
Oh, yeah, you do. It was my favorite for a very long time. It was called the Cloudberry Horn. It was a delicious, flaky pastry that was horn-shaped so that they could fill it with this light, fluffy, airy cream. Mm-hmm. Now, those two elements are still available, I believe. It was called like a troll's horn or something like that. Yeah,
something like that. I'm surprised this is this far down on your list. You love this thing.
I did. And it would be farther up my list if it was still available.
If they still had the cloudberries. I have to admit,
that
those cloudberries
is the missing element
amazing.
Now. They have the other two, but it's just a horn full of whipped cream, which is
Which
it's
is
still
still
good.
yummy, but
it used to have cloudberries, and cloudberries are available only in Norway, is my understanding. It may be the other Scandinavian countries as well. I don't know, but they're known for being from Norway. They are tart and they are sweet and they are just this perfect blend of like if a lullaberry had a baby with a lingonberry.
Yeah.
That's what you would find.
That's a good way to put it. Lullaberries, by the way, if you're unfamiliar, are from the Central Coast or grown on the Central Coast of California. Actually, my alma mater, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, go Mustangs, used to grow them right there on the farm there. And then they made a lullaberry ice cream. When we were back on the coast recently for Christmas, we actually found them at the Avila Valley Barn.
That was so exciting.
Right off Highway 101 between Pismo Beach and San Luis Obispo.
Right
Avila
there
Beach
at the
Road.
hot springs, yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
If you're ever in the area.
Ever going up PCH near Pismo Beach, make sure and stop by there. They still have lullaberry ice cream, lullaberry tarts. So anyway, back to cloudberries. They were similar in tartness, so they had a good sweet tart flavor to them. And that's one thing that I know
I think if they were not sugared, they would probably lean more towards a gooseberry.
I would say that, yeah. They would be, more like a gooseberry, I think.
Yeah.
And they have
But that's why they're so delicious with that light cream and the fluffy pastry.
But the cloudberries had a sweetness to them, too, that kind of was a good juxtaposition for the tartness.
Yes.
So anyway, a lot of
they were perfect, and I wish they still existed. They just don't import them anymore. They couldn't make it worth it for the one dish, and they just didn't expand on them.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Well, my number 4 is the strawberry tart from the France Pavilion. So again, all the way at the back of the France Pavilion is a bakery that has sandwiches and baguettes and these amazing strawberry tarts and quiches. They're open with the park. Good tip here. The France Pavilion Bakery at the very back.
It's called Les Halles Boulangerie.
I'm impressed. So if you're walking back into the France Pavilion, there's a Y. Right side goes to Ratatouille Adventure and the crepe place. And on the left side, you go past Chef Paul's and keep going. You'll pass the ice cream place. And right at the very back, they open with the park and they have breakfast items. And they're becoming more and more popular as more and more people that are out in the blogosphere are starting to talk about them.
Yes.
But the strawberry tart is 1 or 2, maybe even 3 whole strawberries cut into quarters and then put into a tart with a very, very yummy, creamy...
Almost like a custard.
Almost a custard, I would say, yeah. And then on a flaky...
Tart shell,
yeah. And it's perfect to share in the mornings along with maybe a breakfast sandwich or a quiche. But late in the afternoon, too, it's a great just pick-me-up. Again, you kind of get that sugar rush that you need without getting sugar because you're eating fruit.
And that sweetness with a nice hot cup of coffee is amazing.
Yeah.
There is seating in there. There's actually quite a bit of seating in there if there weren't a billion people trying to use it. So you might have to take your lovely item to go or find a nice trash can to use as a table, as one does in Epcot.
It's also part of the exit store for the Beauty and the Beast sing-along that happens during the day. So every 15 minutes or so, you have a large group of kids and parents running out going, ooh, food.
And this is one of those locations that has, like Rod said, has gained popularity, and you will wait in line for it, but I guarantee it moves quickly, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Thank you.
So my number 3, then, is also in the France Pavilion. So we're going to go next door to Les Halles, and we're going to go to L'Artisan de Glace. And that is the ice cream place that we just passed to get to the bakery.
Yes, we did, actually. I saw it. It was right there. Can you see it?
So you already know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I think I do. Yes, it's not going to be the scoops. It's got to be...
No, it is the croque glacée.
Yeah,
now,
I know it.
What this is, if you've not experienced this, it is pretty much heavenly. What they do is they take a freshly baked brioche bun, they cut it in half, and they put your choice of chocolate sauce, caramel, or strawberry.
Right.
And then they have like a panini press, but it has like a little dip in it so the bun fits in there. And then you choose your ice cream flavor. That's
right. But they also do usually have a daily sorbet. That
yes, I believe they do.
You can also do a fruit sorbet in there if you don't want
So it's dairy-free.
Yeah.
I don't know if brioche is dairy-free. I don't know enough about it. I'm sorry. So yeah, they take a scoop of the ice cream that you choose, or sorbet. and they put it right on top of there. They press that down so it seals the sides like an ice cream sandwich. And it is the best ice cream sandwich you will ever have. I guarantee it. It is just magical. And you can choose any flavor you want. They have seasonal flavors, or you can just do a plain vanilla or anything in between. It is absolutely delicious.
It comes out as this really, really soft top and bottom and crispy edge ice cream sandwich.
With the ice cream still cold in the middle and the brioche bun is still warm, and it's just this perfect combination.
Yeah, my favorite ice cream sandwich on the planet is the It's It's. However, these are 1.1. These are right at the top with that.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is fish and chips.
Ooh.
From the UK Pavilion. Now, fish and chips are available in the restaurant as a full meal, but as you walk by, if you've been in the International Gateway or if you walked around World Showcase, you have smelled and seen these fish and chips. They're right there in the UK Pavilion next to the pub. And they serve, I think it's 2 pieces of fish with a whole bunch of perfect chips.
Yes.
And American fries. But they have really good house-made tartar sauce that they serve them with.
If you ask nicely.
The
cast member can go inside and get you the good stuff. Otherwise, it's the Heinz packets, which,
exactly.
I mean, are fine.
But yeah, that's again, there's a good tip. Make sure you ask for the house-made tartar sauce, and they'll bring it to you from the kitchen. And then they're seating around the back right-hand side of the restaurant. Most people don't even know it's there. It sits down right on the water's edge, and you can sit down there and eat your fish and chips. And even though you're not supposed to feed the birds, the seagulls and the big, large, tall birds love, for some reason, fish and chips.
But as a disclaimer, do not feed the birds.
Yeah, don't feed the birds, no matter what Mary Poppins says.
And no matter what the birds tell you.
And they cost more than tuppence, trust me. However...
it is the same fish that you can get inside at Rose and Crown.
Yes.
But it's just available at the walk-up, which is super convenient. And it's exactly the same. It's still crispy and delicious and the perfect on-the-go meal. For
a beer batter, too, it's not the big, thick, crispy stuff where you're eating just batter. This is a very good quality fish with I think a house-done beer batter coating. And it's the only one that's even close to it that I can think of is Cook's over at the walk-up at...
Oh, yeah, Cook's of Dublin.
At Raglan Road at Disney Springs. They are very similar to that.
And just as good. And they also have the little packs of malt vinegar. Don't forget the malt vinegar.
You guys drown it in the malt vinegar.
Oh, so good. And that's at the Yorkshire Fish Shop. I don't know if we said that.
That's the name of it. Thank you. I was as I was talking, trying to remember the name, but Yorkshire Fish Shop is the name of it, next to the Rose and Crown restaurant and pub.
Nice.
All right.
I'm actually going to sneak in right here, and I'm going to give you one of my honorable mentions, which usually go at the end, but since we're talking about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Just a little tip. You can get just an order of chips.
True.
So if you just want a little light, greasy snack.
That are not the typical McDonald's or even theme park french fries.
Right. No, they taste like the ones we got in Ireland and in the UK.
They do.
They taste authentic, and they are amazing. And you can get just the chips if you just want a little snack.
Very good tip. All right. What is your number 2?
My number 2, I'm going a little off track here, and I'm picking a beverage, but it is... Okay. One that is available all over the park. I bet you already know what I'm going to say because I get it every single time.
This has got to be Molly's favorite.
It is Molly's favorite.
I knew it.
If anybody listening, I'm sure you probably are aware of Molly used to be from All Ears, now from the fantastic Mammoth Club.
Big shout out to the Mam Fam.
We love them so much.
And it's really, honestly, because of Molly and Alan and Max that we started on this podcast.
That we decided to take a leap.
Yeah, they were our muse, so to speak, for this.
As Molly says, bet on yourself. So we're taking a little leap, but we just love them. So on to the actual snack. It is the Shaken Jamaican, or as we call it, the Shaky Jamaican, and that is available at any Joffrey's cart within the park. And a little hot tip here for you. There's also Joffrey's stand that is outside the park. Right at the exit or the entrance, I should say, for the monorail. So it faces the wrong way for most people. So if you're walking into the park from the monorail or from the drop-off for the trams, you pass on either side. There's no trams. Why are there no trams? From where the trams should be. The new path, anyway. So you come out on either the left or right-hand side of the monorail
entrance, but it's right there, and it's faced towards the turnstiles. So
you see it on your way out, but you don't see it on your way in. So when you're walking towards the gates, turn around, because there is a Joffrey's stand right there that has maybe 2 people in line. I promise you, there's never a line because people walk right past it.
And the local place that makes their donuts, the donuts themselves are for kids. They're big neon,
like Simpsons donuts,
lumps of sugar. But yeah, the cinnamon rolls there, however, are fantastic.
They are good, but it's all about the coffee.
It is.
Right now, it's all about the shaky Jamaica. So what this is a cold brew that they do that has some sorts of flavors in it. I believe it's vanilla and caramel and
coconut?
maybe coconut. I probably should have looked that up. I apologize.
Editor's note from the future. There is no coconut.
That's actually in the coffee. It's not flavors they add. So if you get a black coffee, it is going to still have those flavors in it. I like to get the shaky Jamaica with an extra shot of caramel.
I like to do it with a shot of vanilla.
Oh, yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
But then I add a little sploosh of cream to mine as well. I like mine a little creamier. So that is a delightful tip to get that before you go and stand in line for the park, because you're going to have a walk when you get in there. You might as well do it with a shaky Jamaica in your hand.
And if you're rope dropping, they open before the park does. So
Yep.
you can actually get it while you're standing there waiting for the turnstiles to entrance to open, or the rope further up to be dropped.
So what is your number 2 then?
My number 2, I think, is going to shock you, because it's number 2 instead of number 1.
You didn't.
I did. Number 2 is the elote at the Mexican Pavilion. Walk up. It's it's on the left-hand side of the stairs as you walk up to the pavilion.
And that is the Choza de Margarita.
Right. Thank you. So she's our resident Googler when it comes to this stuff, because I remember the food. I don't always remember the name of the restaurant. But the elote is a full corn cob of corn, obviously, that has been steamed, cooked, and it has a jalapeno crema, I believe, on it with cotija, the white cheese.
Yes.
Is that the right one?
And I think smoked paprika. I'm not sure it's steamed. It might actually be grilled.
It could be grilled,
but it's always perfection.
It's hard to see if it has grill marks because it is covered with just fantastic flavors. It reminds me of going to the county fair as a kid, when you would find corn on the cob as a treat that you could buy, and then have your own selection of toppings to put on, including cheeses and cremas and
all kinds of spices and herbs and so good.
Yeah, it
does remind me of that. That's so funny. I'd never thought of that.
It's one that really hits me in the feels again, just because it has a connection to my past, and so the elote is my number 2.
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
I know you're shocked by the fact that it's 2 and not 1.
I know, right?
So wait till you hear what 1 is. All right, so on to number 1. What is your number 1?
My number 1 snack is one you may not have ever heard of. It is the elote from Choza de Margarita in Mexico.
I am shocked.
I am shocked that that's not your number 1, because it is literally something we get every single time we get.
I don't think we've walked past that pavilion in years without stopping to get it.
No, and again, this is one. They also do the margaritas, obviously, which is in the name of the stand. They also have delicious empanadas, which are really good there. And I believe it's owned by the same people who do La Cava de Tequila, which is inside the Mexico Pavilion.
Yeah, just inside on the right, they have a walk-up tequila bar that usually has a pretty long line.
Yeah.
But they serve tequila flights, and they do all kinds of mixed drinks. And if you remember years back, you used to be able to get several of the different pre-mixed tequila drinks. They do have those outside at the walk-up as well.
Right.
But inside, they'll actually do hand-mixed tequila drinks.
And lots of specialty ones. They have an avocado one that I'm dying to try.
They have a couple. One of them has like crickets in it, and the other one has got an ant.
I think the crickets come on the
covering. Side. I don't know. I'm getting too old for trying that kind of new stuff. So if you've tried those, leave us a comment and let us know what they're really like.
To be fair, I've heard that crickets are salty and crunchy and go well with the tequila.
And they're crickets.
Yeah, I mean, they're not my thing. But I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. So if you like them, more power to you. And more crickets for you, because I'm not going to eat them.
I'm not going to eat them either. Yeah.
But I think the walk-up stand is run by the same people. Outside, you do find those pre-made ones, but they also do have a couple of the specialty ones that they will do for you. And like I said, those empanadas are amazing. But we always go for the elote, and oftentimes it's breakfast for us because it's our first stop as you head through Mexico.
Oh, yeah. And are you Team Mexico or Team Canada? Let us know in the comments. If you come in from Future World, yes, it's still Future World in my head. Don't correct me in the comments. I'll ignore it. Do you go left to go through Mexico, or do you go right to go through Canada?
And the only right answer is Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
All
spoilers.
right. And
So we're on to your number one then.
this may be one, you'll probably remember me eating this when I was younger.
Oh,
This goes
okay.
back
I
to
already know
when-
what it is then.
Yeah, this goes back to when I worked at the Magic Kingdom, 96. I would get off work and go to Epcot just almost nightly, and I would go get the waffle at the Kringla Bakery au Cafe.
Very nice.
And my grandpa
Your
would-
Norwegian isn't good?
No, my Scandinavian grandfather would probably slap me upside the head trying to say, it's not how it's said. So the waffle was actually 2 heart-shaped waffles that had jam, strawberry jam in the middle, and then were covered in powdered sugar. Now, they sound simple, but because they remind me of the waffles I grew up on that Mom used to make,
Yes.
it was a very similar flavor of the waffles, and I love strawberry jam, so it was just the perfect snack for me, and it was a comfort food when I missed home in California and living in Florida. And so it's my number one just because of the emotional value that it gives me thinking about it. And I wish it was still there. Unfortunately, it has been discontinued. For a while, you actually could ask for it and they would make it because they were still doing the waffles in a different fashion.
It was like a secret menu item.
Yeah, but they're gone now. But anyway, that's my number one.
That's a great one. Really
Thanks.
good one. I had forgotten about those. So a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
My honorable mention is the maple popcorn in Canada.
Ooh, good one.
Now, we've tried the caramel corn in Germany, which is very good, but the maple popcorn is more consistently eatable. The caramel corn is very good. It's just very heavy feeling to it because of the caramel.
It is.
Maple popcorn is just coated in a great maple sugar combination. Similar to a lot of the other flavored popcorns you can get around Disney. One of the reasons I really like the maple popcorn is because it's one of those flavored popcorns that's accessible at Epcot, and it reminds me of the flavored popcorns that we've gotten around the world at the other Disney parks. The honey popcorn in front of Pooh at Disneyland.
Yes.
And the curry popcorn in Tokyo Disney Sea. There's some amazing flavored popcorns out there at the Disney parks. The maple one is an honorable mention because it kind of reminds me of that genre of popcorn.
And it feels like caramel corn, but it just has a little unique spin on it. So
And
if you
again-
like caramel corn but you haven't tried the maple, give it a whirl.
Yeah, it fits the Canada pavilion because of the maple tie-in. So it's probably actually Canadian maple. I'm going to go with that. We'll believe
stay
it
with
is.
that.
We'll use our imagination. Ooh.
And that is available at the walk-up cart. There's just a popcorn cart right outside the Canada pavilion.
Yeah.
So it's very accessible. It usually has a line because it is really good.
It is yummy.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm going to go across the lake and go back to Germany for my honorable mention.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to Caramel Kusha.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the Werther's Caramel Butter Bar.
Oh, we got this the last time we were there.
It was so good. It's this ooey gooey caramel that is somehow infused into some kind of topping that goes on a shortbread crust.
It reminds me a little bit of the ooey gooey butter cake here in the Midwest.
Yeah, kind of a similar consistency to
Yeah.
that. And it is so good. It's very, very, very rich. We split one and still took half of it back to the hotel with us.
Very caramel forward, but being Werther's, it
Oh,
doesn't surprise me.
It is so good.
The
though.
flavor on it is amazing. If you like caramel corn or just caramel in general, this is a really good one to split. But the question is why don't they sell milk at that pavilion?
Right.
Just have a little walk-up, reach-in thing for it.
That would be
It
amazing.
lends itself towards that. So if you're Disney, if you're listening, put milk in the German pavilion at the bakery.
Please. So I actually have a secret category that I'm going to
Oh.
sneak up on you.
Well, fire away.
So you please feel free to jump in because I prepared for this.
Okay.
But this is things that we have never tried,
Oh, good idea.
but probably would take a place on our list had we tried them. So things that we've been hearing about. I'm going to just jump in with the ones that I have on here. So first up is the Viking coffee.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It is available in Norway.
I figured that
Because
part out.
the Viking.
Vikings. Yeah. It's that or Minnesota, one or the other. The Minnesota Vikings.
Close enough.
Football humor.
This is a frozen coffee, And I said I wasn't going to put alcohol on the list, but I'm going to sneak it in here anyway. So it has Bailey's Irish Cream, Camorra, coffee liqueur, coffee chocolate sauce, and coffee chocolate crunch garnish. And I don't know why we have not had this.
Where has that been? Also, wait a minute. You said it has Gamora from Guardians? How did they get her?
This one is less green.
Oh,
so it's Camorra.
Camorra. Okay.
Starts with a K.
Gotcha.
So it sounds so delicious. I don't know why we haven't tried this.
Yeah, we'll have to try that if it's available when we go in a few weeks for Garden Festival. Let's
and
give
it
it a
should
try.
be because it's a year-round snack.
And then
so.
we'll report back to you on how it was when we go to the festival.
Yeah. So the only other thing on my list is a brand new one. It was just released this last week, I believe,
Wow.
and it is at the American Pavilion.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
At the Regal Eagle.
Oh, I'm
and-
really intrigued.
So here we go. Are you ready for this? It is loaded burnt end fries.
You had me at burnt ends.
It is seasoned fries, topped with burnt ends, mac and cheese, and onion rings.
Oh my gosh. Whoa, that sounds like a gut bomb in the Florida heat and humidity, but oh wow, we have to try that.
That is not a snack. That is a very shareable meal is what that is.
Yeah. Oh, and
but it sounds
calls-
incredible.
It calls for that wall of barbecue sauce that they have in there. 'Cause
Yes,
I can imagine trying a
absolutely.
few
Oh my
different
gosh.
flavors with that. Oh,
Yeah, that has to be a try. But we're going to have like 16 people and everybody take one bite because there's no way we're finishing that, baby.
oh man, that sounds fantastic. Well, that's our top 5 favorite snacks at Epcot from back in the day all the way up into today. Leave a comment down in the comments on your top 5 or what we missed. We'd love to know if there's something
Yes.
out there that we haven't tried yet that we should have in our top 5.
Tell us what we've been missing out on. We want to know what we need to try.
So thanks for going along with us on this episode of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod,
And I'm Sue.
and we'll see you in line.
Bye.